Welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer, and today we are going to talk about the movie BeBe's Kids. I'm going to start doing movie and television reviews, basically from when we all were young, and show how it influences Black relationships and relations between each other. So, the movie BeBe's Kid, even though I didn't see it recently, I did not take another 2 hours out of my life. Thanks, Deborah. I did not take another 2 hours out of my life to look at the movie again. I've seen it over and over and over when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite movies at the time, and it still is. But there is a lot of hidden messaging in it that you don't really realize until you take the red pill. One of the well, actually, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the beginning of the movie and then kind of build into what it was about and kind of the hidden way that it talks about Black family structure, embraces the dysfunction, and causes more separation between Black men and Black women. All right. So, from what I remember in the movie, Robin Harrison's character was he met an attractive young lady in a funeral. This was the funeral of his friend and her boss. She was a secretary of his, and he died. So she was left jobless, and she was a single mother. Apparently, her the father of her kid died. So this is what Obsidian would probably call one of the good single mothers, or one of the situations where it's ideal for a person to become a single mother in. So there's that. Anyway, the kid wasn't there. However, he met her in a funeral and offered to walk her. He thought that she was going to take the bus, but she told him that. So he offered her a ride, and something funny happened. She said, "Oh no, my car is across the street," and he said, "Oh well, can I have a ride?" Now, right off then, I find it interesting that they showed her as having a car and the Black woman as being, more successful than the Black man. She had the car and he didn't. And the reason why I found that interesting, even though that's a narrative that's constantly being played. Yeah, I love the movie too. Don't get me wrong. It's just you take the red pill, you start seeing things a little differently, and I'm just explaining how I seen that movie differently. Um, so one of the things I that caught my attention initially when I seen the movie was, dang, I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. Well, she had a car, he didn't. But and this caught my attention after the red pill. You think about things like that. So she's more successful than him, at least judging by the cars. At least judging by the cars, she has more money to purchase a car and he doesn't. And then you got to think, wait a minute, that's his friend, her boss that died. If he Why would he work at a job that pays less than his friend's secretary? Why wouldn't his friend just hire him as a secretary? So right off the bat, you kind of get this, crab barrel, you know, belief, or this crab barrel view that the brother he would sooner hire a woman that he's attractive to, or he's attracted to, than hire, another brother. But that may or may not be the case. I'm over speculating. Keep in mind that it's just a cartoon. It's just for fun. My analysis is me thinking too deep into a very old cartoon meant to entertain kids and adults. All right. So he tried to get a kiss. He didn't get it, and that was that. He asked to take her out to dinner, and this happened to me before actually. I'll do a quick sideway. But he has to take her to dinner, and she replied, and this goes into the dinner conversations that ladies and fellas have been having recently. She replied with, "Why don't you do something that we all can enjoy? Like, Ooh, let's go to Fun World. Now, um, there was a conversation I had on Rude's panel where the young lady was saying, okay, well, I didn't tell him to ask me to dinner and blah blah blah, therefore he should pay. Now, in this particular case, however, she actually suggested the location, but she still wasn't obligated to pay. He said dinner because he wanted to get to know her better, not, feed her kid and shit like that, and you know, drive through the traffic. I mean, taking kids to amusement park or just going to amusement parks is a hassle. There it's always a lot of traffic. It's always crowded. You wait forever for one ride and shit like that. It's always a hassle, and you do not really get to know the person. And the fact that he's bringing a kid means that it's far less likely that he's going to hit it that night. Far, far, far less likely. So, I mean, come on now. She just kind of fucked up his whole his whole thing. He asked to see you, and he's like, she said, "Okay, let me bring my kid." Okay, so then the next day came, and he had like this old 1970s beat up car, and when you pull to the corner, the hubcap keeps coming off, and that was supposed to be the joke. Her car was newer, it was more modern, power windows, door locks, etc., etc. And he had the old bucket. So on the surface, it looks like that she makes more than him, but when you dig deeper into it, it's really a sign that he doesn't make or she doesn't make more than him. He spends more on women than she spends on men. So think about it like this, fellas. Say a guy spends $50 a week dating, taking women out to dinners, movies and shit like that. Let's just say $50 a week. $200 a month. That's a car lease right there. That's a car that she can have that you can't because you're spending the money. And the fact that she's saving the money is really a $400 difference in value, which kind of exudes itself in the things that she have. Anyway, just pointing that out. So he drives up to her house, and she had 3 other kids with her. Now, these were not her kids. These were her friend's BeBe's kids. And Bebe is a person that you never see throughout the movie, but she's apparently a hood person who has hood kids. And even though her son is not like that, they seem to have the dominant personality over him. So there's 3 of them. One of them, his name is Khalil. He's the typical, stereotype of a young black kid. He has the ball cap, the hoodie, um, and I think he has sunglasses. I forget. But and then there was the middle one who was like a hoochie in the making. She was, I think her name was Nene or something like that. She was a hyper masculine young lady. And then there was a baby called, I think his name was Pee Wee. Yeah, I think it was Pee Wee. And he had the voice of Tone Loc, so he was a baby, but he had a very mature demeanor. So he had like this OG demeanor, and he was, but he was a baby. So for the 3 of them, now keep in mind, this dude, he just want to Netflix and chill or Blockbuster and chill or whatever the fuck they had going on back then. He just wanted to spend time with her, and she just imposed. She felt the authority, from having the vagina. She felt the authority of, something, I could bring whoever the fuck I want. I can say and do whatever the fuck I want, because I have the pussy, and he's not going to say shit if he wants, his dick inside of it. So that was the sentiment. I mean, it's a very rude thing to invite kids to something like that, to invite other people's kids. Well, it was rude for her to invite her own, but then she invites other people's kids. And then she said, well, these are Bebe's kids. She gave us, it was like $20, something that wouldn't cover all the kids, wouldn't feed them or anything. Just like, it was really just like a cheap babysitter type of situation. You couldn't even pay a babysitter to take care of three kids for $20. And I'm not talking about in 2019. I'm talking about back then. It was ridiculous for her to assume that and impose that. It shows a little bit a lack of respect for Black men's time and money to 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 bring them along without permission. Just saying. All right, so but he does it. He didn't say, "Oh no, this is too much. That's rude, and I think it's disrespectful. Therefore, I'm going to leave you and these four kids to figure the shit out yourself. You could take them, but I'm gone." But damn, I mean, like, really think deep into it now. Think deep into it for a second. I want you to imagine the conversation that they were having. The non-ratchet Black woman calls Bebe up and says, "Oh yeah, so I met a guy named Robin, and he was telling me that he wanted to take me and my son out to Fun World." And Bebe's like, "Ooh, well, can he take my kids too?" And she said, "I don't see why not. I'll just let him know when he gets here." Okay, I got $20. I picture the conversation happening like that. That is really disrespectful. So anyway, that happened. Initially, the kids disrespected him, and here's how. Now they see that this is an adult. So the first one, he went to shake his hand, and he did like a really complicated juvenile handshake. He was so the oldest boy, Khalil, he was making it clear that you are to follow my lead in a handshake. You are not going to. I'm not going to follow yours, even though you're the adult, because I am the more hood person. I outrank you, and that's a common perception in the Black community. That's how things are commonly perceived in the Black community. That the more hood a person is, the higher their rank. Therefore, you are to meet them on their terms, and you are to shake their hand appropriately. I mean, because we as Black people, we all have our own unique handshakes. However, a lot of guys, they change that handshake when they go into the job interview or something like that. You're meeting them on their terms. So this young man made it clear that this is my terms because I am the hood person here. Okay. So fast forward a little bit. He meets Pee Wee, the youngest one, and then he, just insults the guy's pants. It's like, damn, this is how you teach your kids to talk to adults. And then you have her son, the ones who's not Baby's kids. It's just, he's a lame, by the standard definition of the word. But he's polite and he's the least hood of them all, which apparently would make him lame. So they're in the car, and the other kids are bullying him, smacking him on the back of the head, and and shit like that. And he begins to tell his mom. Now his mom doesn't know. Like, how do you not know that shit? It's very weird. Anyway, and they were like, "Oh, so you gonna snitch? I thought you was down." And so it's like he's taking abuse all at the same time. They're saying, "Okay, I thought you were down." Like, you are supposed to be down with our structure, our hierarchy, even though it's abusive to you. Oh, let me take time out to read the comments. All right, what's going on? Fantastic. Zone, good to see you here. All right, I guess it's small enough now with this new thing. I could put the link in the channel, so I will do that. But yeah. All right, so, but only come on if you've seen Bebe's Kids. I'm pretty sure most of you have. All right. So initially they bullied the kid, and when they finally got to Fun World, they had the white Secret Service guy, or Fun World security, kind of come and check him, because he knows a ratchet baby kid when he sees it, and really they just they just want to paint the white guy out to be the villain, like, oh, he's racially profiling, even though these kids are drawn into the very stereotype. I mean, they are made to be the stereotype, and they are, throughout the movie, they do the things that these white guys are presuming that they would do. I mean, it's wrong to stereotype, but it's like, isn't it just as wrong to fulfill a negative stereotype? Just saying. Just saying. So, the white guy comes, he gives them the third degree, and Robin, he's seen how much it cost. That $20 didn't really help three kids get into an amusement park. Like, who would figure that? Um, so he took him in, and that was that. Hold on. Hold on one moment. Let me get this link out. 1 second. All right, there we go. All right, so that's that. Robin comes across his ex girlfriend. She was a slim one with the bigger one, and she had kind of like a sister girl kind of ratchet feel to her, and the fact that her company was this, big fat, looked like a snowman made out of mud type chick, really said something about her. And she was doing ratchet shit. She stole his soda. Oh, he went and bought sodas for everybody, which means that $20 is gone. I mean, you're in an amusement park, $5 for a soda is cheap. So that $20 is completely gone by this point. So so he bought all sodas, and his ex chick stole one. He's still trying to impress this lady who imposed upon him four kids, four burdens, three of which wasn't his. Let me see, what else do I remember about that movie? So you had the ratchet ones. Um, Throughout the movie, the kids were just acting an ass. They went to the house of glass, breaking shit. They just caused destruction, and this is what made me want to do this video. There was one major part. So the kids, they went on their adventure destroying shit. They were on a Navy ship, and people are like, oh no, these are BeBe's kids, which is all fun and cute. Being oh, by the way, this episode was inspired by ratchet motherfuckers fighting in Disneyland. Anyway, they were like, "Oh no, this is BeBe's kids," and people just hop off the boats, and the cops get scared and shit. But and the shit's funny until that reputation causes a violent backlash from police officers, as no one really expected, but it did happen. That prophecy did come to fruition. So, um, anyway, so they was raising havoc throughout the entire park, and then they made a bunch of white kids, and the white kids were just enamored by them, And oh, wait, before we get into that, Robin told the boy, I forget his name, but the boy who was well raised, who was not a BeBe's kid, um, to stand up for himself, and he did. And they pushed him, and he kissed the girl, and the female BeBe's kid, and the shit got awkward, and she came at him with a hammer and shit like that, because an educated lame, or he's not even educated or anything like that, but a non-hood dude getting with a hood chick is just unheard of. She will refuse to acknowledge that he is worth being with, even though at least according to the writer, she actually did have a crush on him. But life circumstances for such relationships just never or rarely pans out, even though I think they both kind of wanted it. Anyway, so threatened the kid, attacked him, and then they said, "Are you down?" And he said, "For whatever." And the other little boy said he was down. Um, I think that part was a little fucked up. Like, why should he be down with Khalil shit? It seems like he's the one with more going for him. It seems like if anything, they should be down with him. He should lead BeBe's kids. It should be him and BeBe's kids, not BeBe kids and some lame ass kid. So they're off playing and like I said before, raising havoc. And the little white kid was following him around, and for whatever reason, this Khalil kid just seemed to have been the alpha. Like, the white kids just adored him. The more square black kid just adored him too. And the white kid was like, "Hey, my name is Richie," and they just painted him out to be the corny rich white kid. And Khalil came with the rap, and he introduced himself and shit like that, and they did their whole spiel. Now, eventually, all the bullshit that they did caught up to them. All the bullshit that BeBe's kids did caught up to them. This like Richard Nixon type robot thing captured them, and then there was this Terminator style robot that was the enforcer or the bailiff or whatnot, and they put them in court. They put these black kids, these BeBe kids, in court, and judged them for their unruly behavior, as any functioning society should. You cannot have a functioning, fun world with kids running amok and breaking shit in a house of glass and just everywhere, throwing dirty diapers and shit, and they were holding them on trial for punching a robot, and the robot malfunctioned because he has that hood nigga Pookie strength that just knocks out robots. And they said that we're BeBe's kids and we're wrecking this place. So robots that didn't want to get wrecked, they fought back. And excuse me. Hold on. Let me put the link. Hey, feel free to come on if y'all like. Because I want to hear your opinion on the movies after so they were put on trial, and they had this Richard Nixon who was reputedly like one of the worst presidents ever. He's the one that's least favorably looked upon. If there was like a negative currency, like something that they give you, like a debt bill, like you owe $35 to Bank of America, and there was a bill for that, his picture would be on it. We don't die, we multiply. Exactly. And they have, and I don't think society is very happy with the multiplication. So they were put on trial, and the evidence was clearly against them. It's like, look, what you did was wrong. You are on trial for the destructive behavior. You should be held accountable for it. Your daddy should have whooped your ass, but anyway, or the square kid should have whooped his ass. But anyway, they should have had their ass whooped. And when finally confronted with consequences for their action, from a powerful force, what happened? They started singing a freedom song. But who led the song? Who started the song? It was the square kid, the one that was getting picked on and bullied. It was the, quote unquote, educated lame kid that protected them from justice. So is that how the world sees the Black community? Like one group fucks up and the other group's clean, and the other group cleans their fuck up? And he was very compelling through song, and he had the Abraham Lincoln robot, and the bear robot was dancing, and everybody was singing freedom. It's like, wait a minute, what about responsibility? What about functioning in society? You don't just scream freedom. There is something else that goes along with freedom. Being free does not mean you could just walk around wrecking shit at will. So he did the freedom song, and they let the kid go because it's like, oh no, everybody deserves freedom except criminals. That's why they have prisons. And if you use your freedom irresponsibly, then you go to jail. And in this case, their freedom interfered with the freedoms of others to enjoy themselves, absent their influence, their destruction, etc., etc., etc. They're ruining everybody else's freedom just by their fucked up presence. You know. So so he gets off, and if I'm not mistaken, that was before the pirate ship scene, where they roped up all the adults and say, "Did you buy your kids a Nintendo for Christmas?" And um, they fed them to the sharks or some shit like that. But it's like, God damn. So you just was given a get out of jail free card by the educated lane. You was given this get out of jail free card, and you didn't learn your lesson. Nope. You just raised more havoc. You just was like, fuck you some more. So they raised more havoc, and they and then I forget how or why, but Robin took the kids, and they all got into the car. They it looks like a Cadillac Brougham or some shit like that. They all got into the car and drove off, and in the background all of Fun World was destroyed. And that's basically a metaphor. It's like, look, when you let baby's kids run a fucking muck, it will destroy your entire civilization. For whatever reason, a society that's designed for fun and happiness runs contra to baby's kids. They weren't happy there. There was even a verse in the song, Fun World isn't very fun for him. It seems so whack, so bland, so grim. And I'm thinking, well, then don't come. Fuck you. Like what type of mentality does it take for a person to say, oh no, Fun World is lame, it's bland, and shit like that, so I'm going to go and just fuck it up? Now keep in mind that this is a children's cartoon. We're teaching our kids that this is okay, that if they do not like something, don't just avoid it and create something that you do like. I mean, you could have stayed in the hood and played freeze tag. If you hated it so bad, then why'd you go? Now, granted, they're kids and their mother's seen an opportunity to get rid of them, but excuse me, hiccup. But still, you just went, and because you didn't like it, you just fucking destroyed it. And that's what they did. So Robin, he's in the car, and and then a cop comes by, and he just started telling him like, hey, these kids are crazy, do something about it. And of course the cop was scared of Bebe's kids. And as it turns out, fast forward, say circa 2015, cops aren't as scared as unarmed black kids as you might think. So yeah, there's that. But all right, where was I going with that? Okay, so the cop got scared and drove off, and then they finally got home. Now, I forget how exactly it panned out, but he found himself in the car with the woman. The woman who he originally went out on a date with, and he was um he was talking to her. The kid was in the back pretending to be asleep, but he was listening to the conversation. And for whatever reason, this kid felt sorry for the ones, for the kids, the Bebe's kids that was picking on him. He felt bad for them. So, um, he was feeling bad that Robin was talking about them like that. And granted, they are kids. They have little control over how and what society has influenced them into be. However, they're not necessarily his responsibility at all. Even that one kid is not his responsibility. Um, so he drops them off, and he's telling this bar, and eventually guilt overwhelms him, and he finds himself going back to the girl to pick up the kids. Well, actually, no, no, my mistake. So before, keep in mind, I did not rewatch the movie. So before that, he what did he do? He went to their house and found out that he had no food, that the kids had no food, and she was saying like, man, he was blaming Bebe as he should, and she was like, well, I don't see anybody talking about the father, and it's like, what the fuck, sisters? Maybe y'all can answer this for me. Keep in mind that I'm going to post this on my main channel so everybody can see it, and then I'll put the link to this channel in the description box. But those of you listening, maybe you could put this in the comment section or whatnot. But why is it that non-hood chicks, non-ratchet chicks, non-babies, why is it that the non-babies of the world stick up for the babies of the world? She knows the secret. She knows that all of those kids got different daddies. She know that, like they're cartoons, but they don't even look like each other. Come on now. Pee Wee's like, and look at Khalil and shit. I mean, they're all like way different hood stereotypes. You could just tell, you know. So, but she was really defending him, like, nobody's pointing a finger at the father, nobody's blaming him. It's like, what the fuck? She fucked up 3 different times with 3 different dudes. I mean, one of two things happened. Either she made the same mistake with 3 different dudes, or any combination of 1 to 3 dudes. But even if it was one dude, it's like, wait a minute, you was with a dude with, you had 3 kids and decided to leave. I mean, what type of dude were you fucking? But when the blame was placed on her, it was immediately refocused back to the guy. you know. So he just dropped him off, and he went to the bar, told the story, and later he felt guilty. And yes, I get it. You can't really help but to feel guilty for some kids, because kids are innocent. These kids were innocent, and they're a product of their environment, an environment that the parents set up for them. So it's a never ending vicious cycle. So then the movie ended with him going to pick up the kids. She wasn't. Baby was not even home to take care of the kids. She was, who in the fuck knows? But I suppose that's the father's fault too. It's the father's fault that she is an absentee mother. Even if he did somehow force her to be a single mother, it's the father's fault that he herself to go to Fun World. You know, why couldn't she do that? She is out taking care of her own entertainment needs. Fuck the kids. Let's say she had a date. She had a date with somebody, and instead of for convincing her date to take them to Fun World, she had her friend who convinced him to take her one kid to Fun World to add 3 more to the list. Why? Because she's dating a simp, while Bebe is dating a, well, what's the word I'm looking for? A homosexual. Bebe is dating a homosexual. Hey, fantastic. Hop on. Meaning somebody who she is supporting financially. All right. Here, let me put it in the thing then. Okay, so Hold on one second. I'm sending out links. All right, those of you who have my email, go ahead and email me for a link if I did not send you one already. Let's see. Here we go. All right. And all right, give me one second. Actually, I'll just do this old one. Cool. All right. So yeah, he felt guilty. He went back and picked up the kids, and for whatever reason, they wound up in Vegas. And through all that, they were still causing havoc. So keep in mind, they could always go under the defense of their kids. But how can a community move forward? Oh, by the way, this is what I was going to say about Bebe. Lost my train of thought for a second. So Bebe was sleeping with, very likely sleeping with a not together person, a hood dude, somebody who's much like her sons. And he's not going to go for that because he can't, because he can't really afford to take the kids to Fun World or anything like that. So, she's using a different seduction technique and she's using everybody around her. So, let me get back to the chat room. So, I want to talk about how one group of blacks is getting over on another group of blacks. And for whatever reason, the black community seems okay with this. What are your thoughts in the chat room? I think that actually, through movies like Bebe's Kids, we are conditioning ourselves to be okay with it. I got you. Fantastic. We're conditioning ourselves to be okay with this. We're saying that this behavior is okay. I mean, there wasn't any lesson learned. The moral of the story wasn't that the kids should be better behaved or that Bebe should be a better parent or perhaps the woman should reevaluate her friends. Nope. The moral of the story is to take care of Bebe's kids. Wait a minute. Why is it? Oh, that's interesting. So, hey, do y'all see my icon there? That's weird that my icon's not showing up. Anyway, so the moral of the story is to take care of babies. Is that people who had people need to take care of the responsibilities of the irresponsible. That was the moral of the story. It's cute, it's fun, it's funny to everybody else, but what if you were at Fun World or you just got there and some little baby's kids or, just fuck the place up. And then they go home and like, something, we fucked up one thing, let's go to the next place and fuck that up too. Let's fuck up Vegas. All right, let's see. Okay. So I don't know why I don't see it in the I mean I see it in the hangout room, but I don't see it on the regular screen. So this is the cleanup man fallacy that we're talking about. And what is it that he gets in return? I mean, he gets a woman who doesn't entirely respect him. She sees him as somebody. She doesn't respect his time. She doesn't respect his money. She doesn't respect his wants, and she doesn't respect his desires. It was all about her and her friends' kids. Now, on the surface, it seems as though that she is being selfless too. But it's easy to be selfless when the resources is coming from somewhere else, you know. She's being selfless with his stuff. Now, rewind back to the beginning of the movie. This man said, "I would like to take you to dinner," and he wound up taking 4 kids to Fun World. Now dinner is like, 1 2 hour thing, and then maybe you go back to the room, or you're set up to go back, to go to the room in the future, 3 dates max or something like that, 6 hours of time spent. But nope, she made sure that he spent his entire Saturday, to do that. Zone, what's the meal? What's that? Zone, did you see the movie? I know you come from a different culture. All right. Oh, okay, cool. I'll check it out. But yeah, yeah, it's late. I'm losing my train of thought. But what was I? Where was I going with that? I don't know. It's just she didn't respect him, and that's what's going on in the black community. It's a lifetime of disrespect. She was spending his money like water. I mean, it went from dinner to just a huge demand of time and energy. Well, take a look at his own, and you'll see what I'm talking about. To a huge demand of time and energy that really didn't pay off in the end. I mean, like what would he have gotten? Sex? Is that the cost of sex now? I mean, it's not just dinner, because she likes the guy from what she found out about him during dinner. Nope. He has to take them on an entire and keep this is not something that they're used to. This is not something that they were used to, or else, it's like, oh, okay. But or else the reaction would not have been strong, and Fun World would have been destroyed the last time those niggas was there. So no, this is them really just are taking advantage. They seen an opportunity, and they're like, okay. Which breeds the question: how often does she get asked out on a date? Or was it just this dude? Was it something about Robin that made her say, you know something? Fuck this nigga. I am going to make him take me out, my son out, and my friends' kids out. He's going to pay to get in. He's going to buy all the sodas and shit. And he's going to pay for all the amusement, popcorn, cotton candy, and all that bullshit. This nigga just wanted a simple date. This nigga just wanted to go to Sizzler or shit. At worst, Red Lobster. But she just fucking ran this nigga through the ringer and then made him take the kids to Vegas at the end of the movie. Like, what the fuck was up with that? Oh, but he got a kiss though. And this was the decent sister. This was the decent sister.
Well, wasn't he the quintessential beta provider?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
she
yeah, that they were extolling the virtues of of what you get when you take on that role. I mean, there's a I mean, see, the thing about it is, man, it's like there's always like truth and fiction.
true.
You know what I mean? So what it is that we're watching this stuff, and see, I remember because I think I got maybe a couple years on you. I remember when Robin Harris actually, like, when he was this was a part of his stand up, and
Oh no,
then
I
it,
see. Yeah.
yeah, and then it extended into the movie. But the movie, he's just doing stand up, right? But then the movie, you get visuals along with the storyline, right? But see, it's these themes that run underneath the animation and the humor, right? It's these themes that pop out at you, and that's what I think you were talking about, kind of looking at it through a red pill lens. You know,
Mhm.
you start to see other things, right? Like that lends to the humor. You know, but it's like, okay, let's get past the humor, let's get past the animation. Why is this like something that's normal, particularly in the black community, for example? You know, why is it all these questions that you ask very poignant? Why is this the case? You know,
Right.
and you know, like I said, he was essentially the quintessential beta male provider, and she was the quintessential single mother who basically was looking for a man to fulfill a need, not necessarily a man that she lusts after, but he feels a need, and it kind of just illustrated the travails of what a man has to go through when he takes responsibility for other dudes' kids.
Yeah. And then other dude's kids, his chick's kid, and then she just throw some more kids in it. Fuck it. He is a provider, right?
Yeah,
He is the beta male provider.
yeah,
And I do remember Robin Harris when he did dang, that was a talented brother that went
yeah.
before his time.
He went way too soon.
Yeah, yeah. And then he was replaced by Bernie Mac, who also went too soon.
Yep, yep.
Damn,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But anyway, yeah. He was telling the story, and it was funny. But one of the things that rang out about the story was the way he described how nonchalant she was about it. Like he had to ask, like, who's these kids? It wasn't like, oh, I hope you don't mind. I bought my friend's kids with us because they seen the opportunity, but they paid for the ticket. If it's okay with you, it wasn't that tone.
Yeah,
He had to ask, who are these? Oh, these BeBe's
these
kids. Like,
babies,
what the hell?
like you're supposed to
Yeah,
know that.
exactly.
Well, wait, okay, let's stop right there. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
let's take that simple interaction, right? Zero lack of respect,
Right.
just none whatsoever. Didn't even bother to ask me if I'd be okay with this.
Right. Now, this was before the cell phone days, but no, the ask should have came
Yeah,
when he rolled up,
yeah, yeah. Is it okay if? And I'd have been like, no. But
And even
but yeah, it just like just don't even ask.
and even if, he was labeled a simp, she could have asked with the implication that a no would mean that you forfeit your possibility of pussy. She did not even give that respect. She just said, look, these are BeBe's kids. This one's name is such and such. This one's name is such and such. Shake his hand under his term, and the little baby is going to ram you with his big wheel because, they don't really see you as anything to respect.
Right. Their
You
own
know,
fathers aren't in the picture, so why would they respect you?
exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's not like you're taking them to a place that they haven't really been before and not entirely welcome. But fuck all that. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
It's
You're
just
supposed
you're
to,
supposed to do that, right?
right.
That's what you signed up for when the contract you signed as you entered through the Stargate and came into existence here on Earth. Said,
Mhm.
remember, I signed this contract to do just that, provide for everyone else, and fuck what brings me joy and happiness, right?
Exactly. Well, in order to get what brings you joy and happiness, apparently her, you have to go through this trial.
Mm.
Now, nobody else had to go through the trial, just him. You know,
But wait, here's the thing. When I think back, so he asked her on a date, right?
Mhm.
Right. See, so it was like right off the bat, it was okay. Well, if you were gonna go on a date, it's gonna be you and my son.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what I was saying in the beginning.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So I mean, even there, what there wasn't any sort of Now I have to recall like how he reacted to that. Was there some sort of apprehension or anything, or he's kind of like, well, wait a minute, like I ain't trying to, you know, be your kid's daddy and all that. I'm just trying to see if you want should go out for a steak dinner or something. You know what I mean? Like, was there any sort of reaction that
I,
he
I,
gave off when she said that to him?
I forget if there was any reaction to that. I remember skits of that scene of him first hitting on her,
Yeah,
and he was like a buffoon. Like she was walking eyes forward, refused to look at him, make eye contact with him or anything, and he was just like desperately seeking her attention.
yeah,
While she was walking as if he wasn't even there, and then when he asked her out, then that's when she brought up Fun World, and she kind of lit up. I remember him going for a kiss, and she put the electric window up,
yeah.
and his lip got stuck in the thing. But I don't remember his reaction, to Fun World. I probably will have to take a look on it. So thanks to
Okay,
Mom for that link.
yeah,
But yeah, I'll look for that. But yeah, so but no, they're expected to do that. And it's funny too when he was in the bar later on, and he was explaining himself, and he didn't want to see himself as that old man, in the bar alone. It's like, wait a minute, is that the black man's options? Is that the black man's options? Take care of somebody else's kids or be a lonely drunk. Not finding an uninhibited, not finding an uninhibited woman himself to procreate with. No, that's not an option. What do you think? What type of community do you think you live in? Everybody else's community in the world? Nope. These are your choices.
You have a
Lonely
responsibility.
old man or BeBe's kids.
You have a responsibility, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have because in this community, we as men have we have an inherent responsibility to every goddamn thing, apparently, except ourselves.
Mhm.
Right? We have a responsibility for, and you have to really think about this, right? Because if this is actually the case, then actually things would equalize, because then that would mean then that every man who's produced a child claims responsibility for it, right? We're all claiming responsibility, are we not?
Right.
So it's very disingenuous, this notion that, well, and let's not get this twisted. I am not sitting here saying to hell with the children. That's bullshit. Okay, I am not saying that. But see, it's very interesting if I'm the one who's tasked with having to, care about children that men who created them don't.
Right.
You get what I mean? It's like, okay, do you heap this onto those very men who create these children, or is it the ones who show some sort of either capability, willingness, or a level of gullibility to go about doing it? And I think in this instance here, Robin Harris's character was gullible.
True. True. And because guys like him are fewer and far between, there was a clamor. She probably called all her friends, like, yeah, girl, I found one. Every 99 out of 100 niggas is would not go for this shit, is not this gullible, but we found one and we're going to milk the fuck out of him.
Yeah. Bebe, you want your kids to go too?
Yeah, exactly. Now, what if they all weren't BeBe's kids? What if you had like 3 different girlfriends and they just all made it like a fucking film?
So as a collective, they're called Bebe's kids, right? Kind of like a little kids rap group or something. But
Yeah,
they're actually
BeBe. Yeah,
they're actually comprised of like the children of like 3 different women.
yeah.
I mean, that just adds like a level and a layer of insult.
That would be hilarious. But yeah, it's expected, and that's what they were promoting. It's simp culture, and not just from Robin Harrison's character either.
Yeah,
It was
the little boy.
It's like fuck these kids. Like, why is he, and then he helped him get out of that robot situation. If I was that little boy, I'd be like, oh, nah, y'all niggas fucked up now.
I'd have been like,
Like,
I'd have good riddance.
yeah, exactly. Be like, all right, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna go play the white
yeah, I'm gonna
kids.
go get in line for the ride here, and
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to enjoy some bumper cars. Peace to y'all.
yeah,
I did not decide to break into a store and break robots and shit, steal diapers, and just run a fucking muck. Like
but let's extrapolate from that one, right? Because again, we're looking at the animation, we're looking at the situation, we're laughing, ha ha ha. Okay,
uh,
then there's the underlying theme. Why is it that we have to gravitate towards the lowest common denominator? Why is it that like your best and your brightest have to get sucked into the muck and the mire? Remember, because he ends up basically becoming like some little rebel kid himself, right? Like it
yeah,
kind of all rubbed off on him, and he's being tainted, right?
agree.
There's that part to it too. Like I guess there's these themes, and then when you extrapolate from that, you say, okay, look, okay, real world experience in terms of being black in America is very much just like that. Especially if you kind of fall into that portion that we could consider the intelligentsia, right?
Uh,
You have the ability to do the thinking for a large group of people, all right? And so when that person is tasked with having to do that, or has shown the ability to do it, what ends up happening is that they say, okay, well, if you're gonna do the thinking for us, you're gonna have to think like us.
that
You
is an
get
inch.
you,
Yes,
yeah, you
yes.
get it. Yeah, go
Uh
ahead.
huh. No, no, no. I mean, you have to think like us, but well, you have to think in our interest.
Yes, yeah.
You
Hmm.
know. Yeah, I did not think of that because he did. He said, so you down now? It's like, wait, that the fuck? Are you down? You should be down with me.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, I am going to be the one who is not going to robot jail. You know,
and he's like, no,
you.
we need riders.
So yeah, it's I don't know what the apparent appeal is, and I don't actually think that it's a natural appeal. I think that the appeal comes from watching kids like babies. I mean, watching movies like Baby's Kids. Kids watch that and they want to be Khalil. They do not want to be the other kid.
I mean, how many homies have you? Okay, growing up, how many homies do you know that got into some real dumb shit, but they were smarter than that?
I know a lot, yeah,
You
and
see what
family
I
members.
mean?
Right,
What's going on, Mr.
right.
Fantastic?
But then there's
Yo,
but
what
then
up?
the fuck.
No, yeah. He got
Oh,
his
I thought
titty.
you was Bruce
He's got
Banner or
his titty
some shit
showing.
like that, and then yeah, now he got the shirt off and shit. What the fuck?
Uh,
What the fuck? Why the fuck is a swole nigga calling himself Mr. Fantastic? The skinniest motherfucker in the Marvel universe. Come
Hey
on.
man, it's the intellect, man, not the physique, baby.
you don't have to
Nah,
convince us.
no, you on some Hulk shit. Hulk got the intellect too. Bruce Banner got the intellect, motherfucker. It's like what's going on, Fantastic?
Shit, what up, bro? What's going on, man?
Nothing
Chilling.
much, nothing much. All right, so now that you've taken the red pill and you kind of got like a red pill lens of the movie, what's your take?
Yeah, man. Like I said earlier on, bro. Like it's crazy how you can look at some shit, as an adult versus like when you saw it as a kid and you see how you was being like indoctrinated and shit, bro. The shit is like it's like it's sad, angering, and like so many fucking different like emotions, and thought processes that go through the shit when you look at this shit as an adult. Like you said, this man, he even though the one chick only had the one kid, the audacity of this bitch to make you a pseudo babysitter for three other motherfuckers that he don't even know who Bebe is. But in
Right.
order for him to even attempt to try to get the ass, he already interested in a chick that's a single mom by herself. This bitch gonna add three more kids to the mix and make you foot the bill for these fucking badass ghetto ass kids. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it's just crazy, bro. You know what I mean? And like you said, from the aspect of the kids themselves, it's textbook nigga shit. You know, the heroes of the fucking movie are the badass kids, and you're supposed to
exactly.
sympathize with them. You know what I'm saying? Not the kid that actually, even though he's growing up in a single mom situation, his mom is actually doing a decent job and, you know, raising him with some type of values, intelligence, structure, all of these things. But, you know, to the ghetto ass fucking little hood booger motherfuckers, this
Huh.
nigga's whack. And he needs to stop being him and become them. You know what I'm saying? And until he come, my bad, go ahead.
No, no, no. Continue. I'm co-signing.
No, until and until he becomes and he sympathizes with them, he's a square. He's a lame. You know what I'm saying? He's not down. And like you said, you know, this motherfucker, they needed him. Like we always say, bro, when these dumb motherfuckers be like, well, who's asking the educated lames and the thinking man to come back to the hood? Who's asking? Bitch, you are. When you get locked the fuck up and you need that motherfucking lawyer, ain't no motherfucking Pookies and fucking Ray Rays nigga or no hood niggas got no damn law degrees. You know what I'm saying? Even if a motherfucker want to claim that Judge Mathis shit, where you're like, oh, you know, I was from the hood, I was locked up. Yeah, motherfucker, but you was. Keyword was. You knew you was smart enough to see the error in your ways, put that dumb shit down, and become the educated motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And stop, and not only that, stop making excuses because shit, as the fucking the lawyer or the prosecutor and whatever what have you, you gotta motherfucking give motherfuckers what they deserve when they fuck up. And you know a motherfucker can turn around because you are the example that you can do something different. You don't got to keep staying with this nigga mentality. So and they have to rely on him to motherfucking pull their ass out of some bullshit. That's the guy that you got. The guy they don't respect, the motherfucker they respect the least, is the main motherfucker they need on the fuck. You know what I'm saying? When shit really hits the fan, when it comes to this real world shit. Niggas love to act and treat the hood like the hood is the world. When these motherfuckers don't understand, but the hood's not even a fucking a drop of blood in the ocean. That's how small these niggas' minds is, and they automatically just relate, you know, this the hood and this real nigga, and you know all this bullshit to like real life shit, man. And like I said, what the thinking black man knows, educated lame, whatever you want to call him, knows is like, man, y'all nobody recognizes y'all but y'all. You're a joke to everybody. The hood, the world don't recognize real niggas. They recognize real men. And they're not worried about none of that nigga shit. All that real nigga shit gonna get you is in jail or in a motherfucking casket. And working for the same white man you claim you hate and motherfucking being a slave for pennies on the dollar legally.
What do you think about Baby's kids relationship to the white kids in the park? Because the white kids seem to have fallen in order. And I get what you were saying that they only know the hood, so they seem to chronically bring the hood with them wherever they go. They went to a non-hood place, and instead of for conforming to it, they decided to get it to conform to them. Now, oh, in this cartoon fictional universe, that worked, but that does not work in actual life. In actual life, in Disneyland, somebody's gonna choke you the fuck out on some jujutsu shit, you know, when they sick of your hood nigga shit.
Or when you lick ice cream and then
Yeah, exactly.
put the shit on social
But
media as if
but
That shit is
I
fucking
wish
awful.
I wish they
That
had a
shit is
motherfucking security guard in every Walmart, every grocery store just waiting. And that's all that nigga do is give bitches fucking full on clotheslines the minute they do some of that fucking bullshit right there, bro. Full on WWE shit. Dudley boys dropping bitches through tables, bro. The shit these motherfuckers do for motherfucking for a little bit of clout and for a little bit of attention, bro, is ridiculous, man.
oh no, that shit's psychotic. That shit is fucking psychotic.
very much so sociopathic. Yeah.
Yeah, and to think that others is I don't even want ice cream anymore. I'm serious because I got a birthday party. Well, it's my grandma, but I got a birthday. I don't even like thinking about that shit. It's just disgusting to me. You know. So, and this goes back to what I was saying before. Niggas are as annoying as legally possible. Like they come up with shit. I don't even think of shit like that. Like even when I was a kid, I didn't think of shit like that. You know, of just licking ice cream and putting it back.
Yeah, like what the hell is that?
And then when society strikes back, they do the freedom song. It's like, is that what you do with freedom? Go around licking unpaid for ice cream? It's fucking disgusting.
How many how many fathers do you think Bebe's kids, like how many daddies do you think there were? She had 3 kids out of the 3. How many daddies?
Five.
Oh, 3. This nigga said
Yeah, 5.
5.
5. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Because, there's the candidates. There's the
Oh,
candidates.
yeah. She
There's the,
really don't. Yeah, she really don't know who they is for at least one of them. So, and it might be 2 niggas. So, I got you. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's understandable.
yeah.
Looking at
Yeah,
the,
there's
I'm also
five.
taking apart the characteristics of her kids, right? The differences
Yeah,
between the 3 of them.
completely
Yeah.
different personalities.
Yep.
All right, so slight switch on the topic. What do you two think about the relationship that the young dude had with um with the girl? Like that child romance type thing that they had going on. Sneaking kisses and but oh no, I'll slap you in the face type deal. But we really
Oh man, you talking about so like the girl having a crush on the little boy, the girl having.
exactly.
Dude, look, check this out. I used to deal with that shit.
Yeah, I think we all did.
Yeah, I
I,
used to deal with
I
it heavy, man.
Yeah, I think that those of us who are not complaining about the women preferring Pookie Ray Ray side of things, I think that the people like us and possibly even you, Fantastic, kind of got that from a lot of chicks who were hood,
Yeah,
but were and were interested, were teethy, but they did not want to admit it, you know, that like they were ashamed of it, and fearful of it because they know that you're from different worlds or mentally, you know.
Yeah,
They
bro.
yeah.
kind of got
I
weird
yeah,
shit.
I was saying that. I was saying that shit just the other day in the video I made, man. It's like females, since when you reverse the roles, females don't really know what to do. So especially like when you're younger, they show their interests like in a reverse. You know what I'm saying? In a reverse psychology, like they don't like you or like they can't
Mhm.
stand you. And like you know what I'm saying, as a kid you don't get it. You know what I'm saying, because you don't know. It's a very very juvenile version of the same shit like females do. Like when they tell you the studies are like the best way to get a female is to ignore her type shit. but
Mhm.
and but you don't really understand that like as a kid, so you can't maximize on it. And
Well,
even then, especially at that age, you're not even trying to, like, you ain't nobody fucking at 8. You know
well,
what I'm
what?
saying?
Well, no,
So
Right.
Mr. Fantastic. I think what we're looking at here is because I'll like kind of relate some of my experiences, right? We're literally talking about like where they're on the cusp, where they can either be imprinted by either or, right? And so what ends up happening is that because we're talking about our formative years, like we're talking like puberty age and stuff like that. So like for me, for example, it was heavy like in the 8th and 9th grade. Okay, that was like maybe like around there were a couple of chicks I knew that was fucking at the time. Not a whole lot, but it was just a lot of like touching and shit and kissing and all that type of stuff, right? I'm an early '90s kid, so we weren't going ham like youngsters do nowadays, but so stuff was still happening. But at that time, like I could there'd be like a chick who'd be like all talking about how like this dude over here be he's cute, he's this, he's just a little knucklehead nigga, right? But then that same chick though is walking by my desk and then throwing a little letter on it, and the shit smells like perfume and stuff. And she didn't just wrote me 3 letters of just like just what she's thinking and all this type. And I'm like, okay. And you're just, you know what I mean? It was one of those things where they really didn't know how to be around dudes like us, but they could default be a certain way around them other dudes, and it was okay. So what ended up happening was they would typically gravitate towards them because it was a bit easier, or they they were actually kind of more on the aggressive side or whatever. I'm not really sure. I'm not a woman, so I can't really parse it. But I just know that I experienced that shit a bunch. Chicks that they'd be like, they were cute. They might have been hood, but they were also smart. You know what I mean? That might have been like an attractive quality or something like that. They weren't exactly dumb. So they see a boy who's got some smarts too, then they're intrigued by it. But again, I'm not a female, so I can't really speak
Yeah,
on it to
man.
that degree.
Well,
The
well, I mean, I'm not either, but I know they're very social and they don't want to be an outcast, and that's what they would be if she had gotten with him. She would be an outcast in her community because she
Right.
know that she couldn't be, what she, what her persona. She could not keep that persona and be with him. He doesn't fit, and the fact that she's attracted to him mean that that's not actually who she is. That is who the community expects her to be. She's
Right.
being what society is expecting her to be. So she's like, oh, wait a minute, if I get with this guy, I can't be, Nene. I can't be the ratchet little hood girl. What that look like. So, you know, it's a weird, it's a weird dynamic that, and that they were really touching on a little bit in the movie, but I think that a lot of us like felt that growing up, like, like these chicks are really into us. Um, but with some, I mean, like many didn't care, but some there was really an apprehension.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And
Like Complex said, man. The whole nerd angle, bro, is that's like the worst thing to be in the fucking like in a hood school. And like I said, bro, I was a nerd and I was like poor. So like he
Yeah,
said, man, you get that female or those females that will like show you interest, but Game Changer, you hit it on the head. It's like it will fuck up their social standing by fucking with you. So they give you like these slight hints to where like they let you know they was interested, but they can never act on it because them dealing with you will fuck up like their social status. It will bring them down because why you fucking with that nigga? Why you fucking with that lame, the smart nigga, so on and so forth. And like I said, and if you poor, that's like 10 times, that's 10 times worse. So like, yeah, man, it was like crazy, especially like in high school. And like, high school is like your social, like that shit is like the big leagues. That's when you first really get into the whole, puberties and hormones is running fucking crazy and wild, and like just the pretty much high school is your introduction to like how the real world is gonna be for the rest of the way as far as like sociable interactions and shit. Because most jobs are just big ass fucking high schools and so on and so forth, or any other place of like just group activities or group associations. So yeah, man, like that was the craziest shit, bro, for me because it was like I was so interested in a female and like she wouldn't fuck with me, but she would go fuck with this little nappy head dumb nigga, and it was like, and I just couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure it out. And then later on, like you say, as an adult, you run into that chick. She's like, well, I always kind of liked you and la la la. And like, bitch, well, what the fuck? If you like me, why the fuck didn't you? Like what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? You got to go through that whole shit, and it's just like,
mhm.
well, bitch, you know what I'm saying? You're 10 years too late now. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go to PE every day now. So now your ass, like, you don't wear weight well, and I'm not really interested. If I strike out, I might fall through. I might hit you up. But other than that, bitch, no, you lost one. God damn it. Get your Lauren Hill on. Fuck out my face.
yeah, I mean, I'll say that I'm a little more. I'll just say I'm a little more aloof, right? I get kind of like the same thing with the chicks I went to high school with and stuff. To be because we're all like on Facebook and shit, and it's like a brother gets in his 40s and stuff, and if you active like you might be swole like Mr. Fantastic, or you at the very least you just keeping yourself together. And after 3, 4 kids or however many, man, sometimes I might just do a little something to a woman's body. So things kind of change, and you might just be in a different social positioning. I don't really have to like. I don't struggle for anything as it relates to women. I don't. That's why you don't hear no complaints from me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just a little more aloof to it. I'll be like, oh, hey, no, I'm out here. I'm just chilling. I ain't doing nothing. When they try to insinuate, hey, maybe we should go out. Maybe we should do this. I'm like, maybe we shouldn't. I got something to do.
Actually, I never held any regrets. I mean,
Yeah,
because
that's what I mean. There's no regrets. Yeah.
I just figured that they were shy. I mean, because guys are supposed to make the first move anyway. So I never looked at it like, oh, she didn't, she just didn't want to go public with it because I'm a nerd or anything like that. I did find out later that some chicks that um, I was interested in high school, I found out later that they were interested through various channels. But there was one in junior high. Oh my gosh, she grew up fine. You know, she was real cute in junior high. She was like junior high cute, but she grew up to be just fucking early 20s, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Who's that chick that Steph keep putting on his thing? That basketball wife chick
Uh,
that
Aisha Curry.
clinks. That, no, not Aisha Curry. Fuck, what's her name? Drea.
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 Yeah, Drea. Yeah.
Drea. She was like Drea. Just imagine. Oh, by the way, I met Laura Govan when she was 16, and she was the finest girl at my high school, and she didn't even go to my high school. But anyway, Drea. She reminded me of Drea. Well, she didn't remind me of Drea because she's older, but I'm saying like Drea reminded me of her. She grew up to be, just that fine. She was always real nice to me in junior high, and me too. I was poor, and it's bad when you're poor in a poor neighborhood. Like of all the poor parents, your parents had the least. So that was my situation, free lunches and shit. But when she was real nice about that. Like if kid, because when you play in the dozens and shit, one thing that they would attack is my
Your
clothes and
phone.
shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but she would compliment, just to counteract it, and because she was so cute, it was hard to go against it. So they went to other things like my ears and other shit. My dad gave me a fucked up haircut at one time. That shit was awful. My dad gave me a fucked up haircut, and they did not let that shit die down. So so she was real cool with me, but every time I seen her, like I'll see her in passing in Oakland and shit like that, I was always with a chick. I was always
Uh,
with my girlfriend, or I remember one time I was dating these African. I was on a double date with my partner with these African chicks, and Ethiopian women are the baddest in the world. Are the baddest in the world. Um, so I seen her while we was going into the restaurant. She was coming out. I was like, oh god damn. How come every time I see you it's in these fucking circumstances? This was before Facebook and shit like that, you know. But I forget why I brought that up. But there are situations like that to where, it's like, yeah, this is the chick that I could have had in high school, but I didn't. Missed the opportunity.
well, I mean, but I think it just kind of has more to do with, like social acceptance, right? Like with people not judge her, for example, for being with someone that they feel is not maybe like up to par or some shit. And that's why we're kind of talking about how that little girl reacted to the boy in Bebe's kids. You know,
Right.
because we have this, and it's funny because this is where it starts, right? So it starts here, and then next thing you know, you've got somebody like an Obsidian. Because look, he relates his shit back to this high school story about like these. I've heard him say this before, and I'm like, dude, like you should never talk about any high school experiences like that as like some, you're really putting a whole lot on it. But okay, but I'm saying in all aspects, it starts at that level, and the next thing you know, you find yourself 20, 30 years later on fucking YouTube yelling about the shit.
The way you make that sound, man. But
Oh,
no. Yeah, I mean, high school, and probably because, I had an okay run, you know, I don't really see it's just 4 years, I mean, like the time period between 22 and 24 was a lot more fun than high school itself. Um, high school had its pluses and minuses, don't get me wrong, but it's not it's not the end all be all.
no, it
Um,
really is, man. I was like the same way, dude. Like shit really didn't get interesting for me until like my mid 20s.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, but like I said, that's the most rewarding shit. Anyway, that's rewarding as fuck too, though. Like you said, for the shit to be that way, to be like you whatever, and you like I say you get typecast. That's the way I put it in high school. Then, like you said,
mm,
you leave home and come back, and them same chicks, be fucking grinning ear to ear, giving you them looks, and like that what's that shit they say with Nicki Minaj, that hey big head shit or whatever. And it's just like,
mm,
yeah, man, like there's no fucking better feeling in the world than that shit, bro. Like I said, to run into the chick that like that tells you that story, and then you bag her, it's just like it's what else, bro. Like I said, it's not that big of a deal, and you understand that shit once you get grown.
yeah. But I'm saying I don't see a need for revenge on a chick like that
Oh,
because I mean, like, would you want a chick to get revenge on you? Like a chick who was fat in high school, and then she got her shit together. Then she got her shit together. Would she be like, "Oh no, you didn't want me when I was fat"? It's like, yeah, but that's because you were fat. Like, but I want you now, bad. Oh no, nigga, revenge. It's like, wait, hold the fuck up. Revenge for not wanting to fuck you fat? Like, what is that a bad thing? What the fuck? Am I a bad person?
reverse revenge.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm not really for the vengeance shit. I mean, like, look, yeah, I didn't want you then, I want you now. You know, if a chick was to come up to me and say that shit, or fantastic, if a chick was to come and say, "Ooh, shit, muscles," I mean,
You weren't
like,
swole like that back in the day, Mister Fantastic.
exactly.
That's
Do
why
you
I'm
want me
hey
to?
man, exact hey man, like I said, bro, and I've been married. I've been out the game for a while. It's crazy, bro. Like I said, it's before I got married or whatever. Like I said, bro, it was like night and day, man. And it wasn't no revenge shit. Cause like I said, it was still this one chick that I just could not get, bro. This one chick I just couldn't get, and
Mhm.
uh I say within like 2 years, because I moved around and shit or whatever, I just stopped going home. And like how this was like between the gap of like the MySpace boom
And
and like
Facebook.
yeah. So when I saw this chick again the next time, bro, like through fucking social media, I was like, thank God, bro, I dodged a bullet, because old girl just like, bro, I don't know, like she gained weight. This bitch didn't have a gap, and she somehow got like a fucking quarter-inch gap between her two fucking front teeth. And I was just like, hey man, hey, God looks out for fucking babies and fools.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, there was this one chick when I was in high school. She was real teethy for me. I mean, extremely. But I am a man of rules and principles. And I had a rule, and that rule was no junior high girls.
Oh yeah.
Um, Now, keep in mind, in retrospect, it's really not a big deal because this was my first year of high school. So she was really just 1 year younger than me, you know. But I had a rule. So she would wait every morning at my high school with her sister who had first period with me. and just be like, "Hi, game changer." Like, damn, I don't even want to be seen, associating with junior high girls and shit like that. I'm new. In new school, I want to fuck up my reputation. So, I was a bit of an asshole with it because she kept with it every day. Her sister was telling me that she liked me and stuff. I'm like, well, nope, not with it, not with it, not with it. You know. Then next year came, and I'm like, I'm with it, I'm with it, I'm with it. She did not want to have shit to do with Game Changer.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with all this revenge?
Hey
You a big
man.
girl,
She was
you
like,
know.
I was a big girl then.
But it's still the whole title of junior high fucked it up for you.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not even gonna like front, dude, because I always had like this long standing rule, man. I never did well with younger women. I just never
Uh-huh.
did. It was just a maturity thing, dude. Like we were just miles apart. So it was always like, okay, I'll try 2 years younger than me, no more, right? And even if I
Yeah, I
dealt with
want
chicks that literally like a year or two younger than me, man, it just seemed like I was dealing with like some chick who was like 16, and I was just like, yo, you know what, man? So I ultimately, man, just kind of established something for myself. Where it's like, either we're the same age, or if she's older than me, cool, or whatever. But the one thing I cannot deal with is just immaturity in a female, like in a woman. Like that is like the worst, And like as you get as a woman, as you get older as a guy, and then you start going younger in terms of women, there's more of a gulf there. You know what I mean? Just in terms of like what your expectations for her as a person are, and then how she may be expecting you to be around her. You know what I mean? Like to be interested in a lot of like remedial social media shit that just ain't does nothing for you, right? It doesn't really kind of put any new information into your head really that's useful. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of, I don't think I would have been. I don't think I would have been like that. Like if I was ninth grade and she was eighth grade, right? We're. I don't think I would have sweated it like that too much. But yeah, I am kind of age conscious though. Yeah, like 2 years, no more than 2 years, man, younger, man.
No, I had a
Yeah,
2 year rule, but when you're in transitions, like you have a 2 year rule, but you can't have that rule when you're 18 or when you're like if you're in college, you don't mess with high school, even though it's your first year of college. So you have the 2 year rule, but you make amends when there's transitions, like high school to junior high. You don't make that transition, so the 2 year rule doesn't really apply at that
Right.
point. You know, and then college to high school, even though shit's illegal, but outside of that, it still just doesn't apply at
It
that
does.
point.
Right. Yeah.
So it was that. But see, get this though. In Oakland at that time, high school started in the 10th grade, so we didn't
No,
have a
it, dude,
sophomore
it
year.
was like that. I was like that too. My first year in high school was the 10th grade. I went to
Yeah,
my middle school was sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth grade.
yeah, yeah. Mine too.
Yep.
Okay,
y'all, man, y'all do shit totally different from the South, bro. They
no,
just
no, they
switched.
changed it now.
They changed it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't have it anymore here in California.
Well, yeah, they just switched that shit from because in the South, the whole time I was growing up, it was like kindergarten was K through sixth, and
hmm
then like by the time like my baby sister started, it went from middle, and middle was seventh and eighth, and high school was 9th through 12th. And then when my sister, by the time she got to middle school was sixth through eighth, and then 9th through 12th. So yeah, man, that's the South do shit totally different. But yeah, man, you guys brought up a common thing too. And I think that's just something that comes with like intelligence. And I hate when you say this shit. It just makes you sound like so lame, or makes you sound like you know what I'm saying. You on some like elitist shit, but you know what I'm saying? When you hear somebody else say it, it lets you know you're not a fucking weirdo or you're not crazy. But you like principles and more, you know what I'm saying? You have a principle, you have like a rule setting for females. Like, you
hmm
know what I'm saying? Like when we said they was trying to get on you because you didn't want to fuck with the fat chicks or whatever. The same thing for
yeah.
me, bro. Like if a chick was ugly, bro, I couldn't do it. Like if an ugly chick had interest in me, well, I'm not saying ugly. No, stop saying that. But a chick that wasn't attractive to me, or I wasn't fucking interested in her, bro. If she was trying to throw me the ass, like no matter how hardcore it was, I was like Matumbo on that shit. Like, bitch, I don't care. I don't want anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And like the chick I was really interested in, it was just like I didn't understand the law of averages at the time. So it was like all of them for this one chick, bro. Because Complex said I had this fucking situation like when I switched from fucking middle school to high school. It was like one chick I was so crazy about in like middle school, but then came high school, like I didn't care. And like, bro, this shit, it was like weird to me because this chick was like trying to give me the ass. And I was just like, I teased around with it or whatever, so on and so forth, to the point of where this chick came to school one day with like no drawers on. Showed me the fact she had no drawers on, like, oh, she trying to get it in. But I was just like, it was just like, damn, bro. I was trying to set the shit up, so on and so forth. We could never get the shit set up. And that, you know what I'm saying? It was like one or two tries. And after that point, it was like, I didn't even want it no more. I didn't even care because I was interested in this other chick. And niggas, and like my homeboy was like, nigga, what's wrong with you? You not trying to, I was like, it's whatever, bro. It's cool. But I want this, I want that bitch right there. That's the bitch I want. And it was just like, the whole principle thing, like, fuck you up as far as like, your body count. But I think that's
Right.
just something that, like, when you have a fucking set of a certain intelligence, bro. I mean, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I hear both of y'all fucking saying that shit. So it just let me know I'm like not some fucking crazy ass weirdo, even as like, some fucking early ass teenager.
Oh man, I mean, dude, there's nothing wrong. See, that's the part of the problem here. We can relate it back to Bebe's kids. We were talking about, whether Robin Harris actually was taken aback by when he asked the chick out, and she basically asserted that, well, look, if you're taking me out, you're taking my kid out too. You know what I mean? And then we're like, well, we were trying to gauge his reaction. We were trying to recall how he reacted to that, but by all accounts, we don't think he reacted any kind of way, right? He didn't really kind of think like, bitch, get out of here, right? And then just kind of move on to the next. Like he didn't do that. You know what I mean? So there's this implication, there's this assumption that, you know uh you cannot have standards, or if you do have if you're gonna have standards, you can only be a quote unquote alpha, right? And that's completely subjective as to what that is, but they're the ones who are capable of having standards. If you're not deemed that, then who the hell are you to have standards? In all actuality, your role is to pick up the pieces and clean up the mess. That's what your role is supposed to be. So how dare you even fix your mind to even have a preference? There's all these
Well,
women out here with kids, and they need to get taken care of. What you talking about? you know?
well, I mean, what they're doing is they're defining alpha by men without standards.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because we live in a situation where the women are, determining who's the alpha, in the sense that, if an alpha is defined by his ability to attract women, then women are the ones who are ultimately defining alpha.
What are the characteristics that they typically say that these men have?
Well, they don't have to have standards. Basically, they offer a lot and ask for very little. Is the chief characteristic of a alpha male in the black community. But
And he
I
doesn't. There's
noticed
no
that.
rules that he has to. There's no rules, right?
Oh no, no,
That garner that really that his behavior is subjected to,
no. I
right?
mean,
There's no
Alpha
rules.
is just, yeah. Alpha is just, he is basically an example to what they want other men to follow. But it's funny because when I'm talking to the two of you, or the three of us, really, we had dudes, we had boys or homeboys and stuff, in high school and throughout life, really just kept you in check. Like, damn, nigga, you fucking that? You fucking a ninth grader? What the fuck is wrong with you? You fucking that bitch? She had a kid when she was 12. Kid 4 years old now. You fucking her? Like, we had dudes that checked your dick. And that's why that whole BGS thing really got to me, because it's the exact opposite of what I'm used to.
Wait, what was? We're not. That's not the reparations thing, right? That.
Nah, that was
No,
the
no,
fat hoes. He only wanted to fuck attractive females, and that's how they got like into the whole back and forth or some shit.
yeah,
Wait,
that's what
what
started
was
it.
he? What was his position on this?
So I'm on Lowcast channel, right? Talking to Lowcast, and you know, they were and MOT mentioned something about unearned dick. And I said something to the effect of, you know, well, actually, you know, men are feeling a pinch because there's not enough sex out there for them, so they're lowering the bar accordingly. And they were saying that, oh no, it's plenty of pussy out there. Lowcast and then was saying, you know, it's plenty of pussy out there. Pussy is cheaper than weed, you know, pussy everywhere, pussy, pussy, pussy.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, and I thought that they were at first. I thought that they were lying on their dick. But I was like, well, look, I'll just say for me, there has been times in my life to where I wanted to sleep with a black woman, and none of the ones that I was attracted to was willing to sleep with me. You know, I think that that's true for most every guy who's been single for periods in his life.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then they said, "Oh, you mean the ones that you're attracted to?" I
Huh.
was like, "What the?
Which ones? Who else would we be talking about?
No, they talking about. So when they say that women are available, they weren't talking about the ones they're attracted to. They were just talking about women.
Like just
Any old wet hole, bro. Any old wet hole.
Yeah,
Any wet
just
hole will do.
anything out there.
Yeah, bro.
exactly. And you can listen to the shit on Lowcast. That shit just shocked the fuck out of me. That these niggas is just talking about high availability. You know, I'm thinking that they either lying or they dick or they just super select dudes. But I'm like, nah, there's not, you know. But it's like, yeah, if you fuck anything, of course it's going to be a high availability, you know.
Good
So.
God.
So they started going back and forth on me for having standards. So they was like, "Oh no, you just want to fuck a cheerleader bitch. You don't fuck a bitch unless you look like Megan Good." And then I'm like, "Look,
And the problem is what?
but then BGS gets on it and he harps on the shit. Like he jumps on the panel just to fucking drill that shit in. And then the next time he had his woman's panel, he started talking more shit. I was like, this nigga. So you know, he just kept at it, and then I'm like, all right, well, you know, come and you know, we'll have a debate, you know.
Yeah,
So,
you didn't tell me about. You didn't tell me you tried to play in front of the hoes, bro. I didn't know about that part.
So wait, he goes on the women's hangout and
He
says
has a
hey.
women's channel. Yeah, you didn't tell me you tried to play in front of the hoes, bro. Yeah,
So
that's
wait,
foul, man.
so he goes on the women's hangout and he goes, hey, so you know, Game Changer refuses to have sex with ugly women. What do you guys think about that? Is that kind of what?
That's almost exactly what they said. And then they said, you know, well, is he attractive? I don't know. He doesn't show, but you know, according to his actions, he's not. And he's a nerd. It's like, what the fuck? I'm gonna put the link in the description. Like, I was like,
Oh
I was
man.
like, the fuck? This nigga.
Wait, and he's a nerd. What the fuck?
And this come from like an old nigga, so now I understand it, bro. I understand the beef a little bit better now. You didn't tell me that he tried to play. He tried some old nigga trying to play me in front of the hoes, bro. I'm gonna have to raise up too, bro. He's gonna be on site until one of us get tired. If you're gonna try to play me in front of some hoes, brother, I don't blame you, man. Fuck the nursing home. I'm with Game Changer now. Game Changer would do a drop. Hey, Game Changer would. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Game Changer was doing fucking drive-bys on the nursing homes, bro, for like a month straight. No chill on these old niggas out here, bro.
Oh, you talking about the boober talking shit? Oh
yeah, bro. That just he already had it in there. We just needed. I need an excuse, old nigga. Thank you. You gave it to me. Let's go.
Yeah, that shit was spectacular. I'll find the link because I don't watch his woman's panel, but nah, he did this shit, you know. And somebody sent me the link, and I was like, what the fuck, you know. Like, I mean, not only, you know, I was upset when it first happened, but I was like, you know,
yeah, you let it live. Like, fuck it, it's whatever. It's what it is.
Yeah.
But you gonna play me in front of the hoes, bro? Come on, man.
Oh,
So
But hey, bro. Hey, I appreciate it, bro. I gotta hop off, bro. I'll be back down in the chat. I gotta go back in here and make sure these people ain't tearing no shit up. So I
all right,
appreciate it,
man.
game changer.
you got
Holla at
baby
you,
kids there.
complex, man.
All right, man.
Yeah, we a slow man thing. All right, bro. But yeah, so that's how that got started
Oh
with
man, that's amazing.
BGS.
That's absolutely amazing. So, the having standards was basically qualified you to be the topic of discussion.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, I was just like, wow. I mean, I was actually stunned and shocked that, that these dudes was not only did they not have standards, but they're encouraging others not to have standards.
Well, I mean,
Like,
I guess if you want to get laid, right? And that's
mhm,
really what you're only because man, on some of like the older BGS hangouts, man, like there were like dudes that were on there, they were pro sex doll, So look to that end, I guess everything's on the table, right? Like,
yeah.
it's all on the table.
Well, I mean, I'd rather a sex doll than a one I'm not attracted to.
Well, I
You know,
mean, with the whole
I've never
point.
had sex with a sex doll, but I have masturbated, and I feel that that's just something that you would use to help masturbate.
I mean, I suppose, right? But that would be like if I would say that you're gonna relegate yourself to using that type of shit if you just gone full incel, right? Like if you have a standard of woman and you
Mhm.
know that you can get those types of women, then why would you? Okay, look, you know, one of the things that I would do that would curb, I would consciously curb my behavior with regards to just who it is that I would consider engaging in sexual activity. Because the one question you have to ask yourself is, in the event that pregnancy were to happen, even if you're using protection, all that shit, right? You are having sex. So there is just that possibility. Would you be okay with this person carrying your seed to term? If you look at her physically, you say, okay, well, look, if we created a kid, it wouldn't be hideous. You know what I mean? Like, if these boxes check off, then yeah, usually I would engage. But man, if it was like if I was paranoid that at the pot, like at the thought, I was like, yo, no, and I just wouldn't do it. I mean, just be like, oh yeah, this is pussy all over the place. It's like, yeah, sure. I don't think you should just go stick your dick in all of it.
Exactly. I mean, and I used this analogy before. I don't know if it was with you, but I don't like Reese's Pieces, so I don't eat it.
Yeah.
I don't eat stuff just because it's candy. Like the point in eating candy is because you enjoy the taste of it.
So you might want to
Like,
have what it is you like.
yeah, exactly. Like I would rather eat nothing. I'd rather just swallow my own spit
Do
before
you
I eat something I don't like.
do you go do you feel like you go to the gas station, you getting some gas, you go in there. Do you go to the candy that you absolutely hate and buy it? And say, you know what,
No,
I
and
hate this shit.
if that
Give
was
me
the
this.
only choice, if that was the only candy, I would not get candy. Like, you know, like the shit is bonkers. But on top of that, it was dick policing, and I
Oh,
thought that
major,
should,
major. That's why I was like,
yeah,
oh wow,
it was
he took it onto the women today. Yeah, that was full on. Oh, everybody, we have to discuss Game Changers' preference in women. We have to.
or the
This
fact
is.
that he has them. So yes,
Yeah,
so yeah, but we come from different backgrounds. We had stances, and mine was a lot stricter than my partners too. You know,
yeah, yeah.
um,
No,
like
I was like that
mine was a
because
lot.
yeah, I was like that, man. Because like I have partners, man. They just yeah. I have homies, man. They used to just jump off into whatever. I was just like, ugh. Like, hey
Mhm.
man, she let me hit, nigga. Like she let me hit it. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. Go ahead. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always see her scratching a lot, but anyway. Like,
Well, oh
did
damn,
you get something
damn,
queued
yeah.
up there?
No, I wasn't gonna play it. I just put the link in the chat room for from BGS in his
Oh,
shit.
okay.
Yeah. So I just put that
Okay.
there now. But yeah, it's a trip that, that's how far society has come, It's like, wait a minute, Oh, and then my partner. So I had his partner, right? Pretty boy. I mean, he pulled the baddest ones, right? Like like
Uh-huh.
back to back, back. And there was this one who was on him. Her name was Pinky, you know. She was on him something tough, right? And he was like, nah, she gonna have to pay like $3,000. And I don't know if she did, but she was really on this nigga tough, and he would not let her have it. And then I meet up with him, and his baby mama is worse.
Oh,
I was like, dang, things change,
yeah.
Now in his defense, he did time, but so I mean, you go in and you come out a different person with a different standards and expectations, but you know,
Yeah.
it's a trip. But yeah, I mean, brothers are losing standards, you know, like I don't know if we ever technically had them, but we definitely uh, have lowered the bar,
Well, we
and
lowered the bar,
and
but
we don't hold each other accountable.
well, that and we kind of allowed, like, we kind of allowed like this whole sort of SJW push for acceptance. Like, we have to accept everything, And I'm not making this a disparaging thing. This is just an observation, right? So now it's like you have to find beauty in obesity, right? Obesity is beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Everything is beautiful. Everything is everything. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that means that you can't. So for example, um, if your standards basically state that, okay, look, I don't mess with like trans, right? Like dudes, women who were once men, right? Who have transitioned over.
Right.
Okay. Now, if that's a preference or if that's part of what your standards are, you're shamed for that. You're transphobic. And I'm saying, like, there's a lot of guys that have allowed these sorts of things to basically reduce their standards, like, because society says, okay, yeah, obese women are just as sexy as a woman who's very well put together, and all these other things that kind of run counter to what it is that you are inherently like attracted to, like what inherently makes you hard and all that, right? Your penis doesn't lie.
Mhm.
Okay, but then you have to sit here and then tell yourself, like, oh well, she's beautiful too, all 380 pounds. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
Yeah. So a lot of dudes are just like, fuck it, because it's easy.
Exactly. It's easy to conform to it.
It's
Now,
easy.
I have had sex with someone in recent years that I was not physically attracted to, but there has to be a reason behind it. There has to be a reason behind it. Her reason was that she was a virgin.
Hmm.
And it's very unlikely that at my age I'll sleep with a virgin again. So that was her get, you know. Um, she's not like a completely unattractive woman. She just is lesbian, and she maintains a masculine appearance. So
That
is what
you,
it is.
dude, that's a whole other door you just opened up, man. Like that whole lesbian thing.
Hey, I make exceptions. I have
No, no,
rules,
no, dude, because
but I made an exception because
I've been hit
huh?
on. I've been hit on by lesbians so much, and like some of them, like if they were more feminine looking, they'd be fine as fuck.
exactly. That was the situation here.
Oh, okay.
I I was like, okay, man, woman thing versus virgin. I'm like, if I was 21, I wouldn't have done it. But, at my age, it's very likely that I'm going to come across a virgin again. That's legal. So, fuck it, you know.
And I mean,
So,
was she trying to? I mean, was she just self-proclaimed lesbian, but was really bi, or was she trying to see if she could go back to the other side, or what? What was her whole deal?
dang. You're really going to embarrass me.
You don't have
Um,
to don't say it, dude. If you don't.
no, no, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I found out later. Um, so, she's my female friend's sister, who still doesn't know that this happened.
Oh shit.
She's my female friend's sister who was a, or dabbled in, however you want to describe it, pimping.
Hmm.
So she was like this man lesbian, this butch
I know.
lesbian.
Yeah, I've seen the type. Yeah.
Yeah, with feminine lesbians that she made money from. Um, And because I don't know if things weren't going well, business was slow, she lost a couple of girlfriends or what have you. But she decided to sell her own sexual services and didn't want to just be out there a virgin and shit. Now, I didn't even know about all this until later. I just knew that she was a virgin, that at least from male penetration standpoint, from a
Yeah.
male
Yeah. Yeah.
penetration
Yeah.
standpoint.
She
You
never been
know,
with a dude.
yeah, she never been with a guy. That this was, I wasn't particularly attracted to her masculine demeanor and style of dress and style of wear, the way she wear her hair and shit like that. That wasn't really appealing to me, but the virgin thing overrode everything, and the fact that I knew that she had access to beautiful women.
Okay. Yeah, I can see
I, I
a play there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was another thing. I'm like, if I can really get her addicted to it, then I have a gateway into that. So pros and cons there, definitely, and I made the right decision, even though I didn't wind up getting that. I later found out that is what she was doing. She wanted to get broken in so she doesn't just go out there,
It
you
just
know.
kind of yeah, yeah. Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So it's a fucked up story. I know. Trust me, it's not a
No,
standard
no,
story.
I'm just saying, man. Like the because like the when that like when I had like interactions with chicks, I found out they were they had been dyking and shit. They would tell me some of the wildest shit, and then I'm kind of like okay, so like I don't why are you over here? And then it's just
Mhm.
because I just want something normal again, and you seem cool and all this, but yo, like some of the shit they jump off into, I'm like, you know what? I don't know, man. You got like a whole different world of shit going on, and really, you know, like
Oh
I,
yeah.
I like I like my peace. I like my peace where I'm at here, so I can't have you bringing a whole bunch of you know lesbian kind of stuff into a realm of a heterosexual man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, now nothing against bi chicks, man. I've dealt with a couple.
Oh yeah, I love bi.
Yeah, bi chicks are
I
cool,
hate
whatever.
bi chicks that love me, And
Yeah,
when I say hate, I mean like I hate the ones who refuse to have a threesome because they love Game Changer so much. Bitch,
man, get out of here. What are you
bitch.
talking about? Like that the selling point of dealing with a bisexual woman is the potential for threesomes.
Exactly. But they
That's the
love
point.
Game Changer so much. No
That's
threesome.
some bullshit.
Bitch. Yeah. It's
that
like
that is some bullshit right there.
exactly. Man, when that shit happened, I wanted to stab her. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to stab her. You know, that first happened to me. I was what 19.
Uh-huh.
I was like, what the fuck? You
Damn.
know, yeah. I want to stab her a little bit. You know, no, not kill her, but just a little stab. Like, what the fuck?
Like, like that, like how do you how are you what wait, dude, I'm sorry. I'm confused by that one. Like,
Mhm.
no, if you're bi, then you're gonna be bi, goddamn it. Like,
Well, I got the and I got it more than once. I don't want to see you with another woman. I got that more than one by more than one female. I don't want to see you with another woman. I want to see you with another
that's the
woman.
whole point.
What
When you
the
don't
fuck?
understand this,
Yeah,
I want to see you with another woman. Like, this really isn't about me like that. Kind of. You know? It's more about you than it is me, but yeah.
but let's get back on topic. But before I do that, this one time, I just want to tell you, my first threesome, I was etched out of the motherfucker. I was etched out.
Oh, damn, really?
Yeah, they were way more into each other than myself, and I was just sneaking feels and shit. Like the shit was fucking awful. The shit
Yeah.
was it was worse than a one some. The sh- the shit was just awful.
I mean, you gotta. Well, yeah. Let's not diverge. Let's go back on topic though.
Yeah. All right. So Robin had a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend that was there. You know, the one with the tube top and shit like that, and she was more ghettofied than the chick he was with. So he had the ex. It was a small one and a fat one. You remember that?
Yeah,
And they were trying to sabotage his current relationship.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
I think
The two, yeah, his ex and her friend.
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw something out there. Is it possible? Is it possible that this new chick is just like the last one?
Um. Well, only with this one, from my memory, the new one with the little boy. See, she was finer than his ex.
Yeah, personality wise.
Personality wise, I think personality wise, he's gonna be stuck in the same place. He's just dealing with a chick who's finer, but he's still gonna be a beta, right?
Right.
He's still gonna be that dude. Like that, his ex didn't look at him, and she didn't look at him in any more of a favorable light than any other women he interacted with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so she would just be more classier, right? About just kind of how she dealt with him. But he was that simp dude. It didn't really matter who he was dealing with.
So, you're northern or southern? You're southern, right?
Yeah, I'm LA. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, but being a non-hood dude, you have come across hood chick who tried to put lipstick over their hoodness.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I know it's just a cartoon movie. Um, but Zone telling you how to sell her virginity. But
What?
I know it's a hood movie. But do you think that she might have been doing that? Do you think that she might have been a hood chick with lipstick?
Um, man, you know what? When I kind of think back, yeah, in a way, you
I
know,
mean, because regular chicks should not be with Bebe. How in the fuck do you know Bebe?
yeah, that's what I
Where
mean.
did you
Like
know Bebe?
you're like Bebe's like fine girlfriend. That,
Exactly.
that's what she was. She was like Bebe's like homegirl that's like fine. So she rolls around with Bebe because dudes will come to her, and then I guess she kind of picks up like the orbiters if she can get them right. So
Right.
maybe in that scheme, yeah, she's hood, but she could just throw on some lipstick and dress it up a little bit better than maybe Bebe, and kind of kept her shit together a little bit better, right? Because Bebe got 3 kids by 3 dudes, or it could be more. We don't know. And
Uh-huh.
she has one, and he, by all accounts, seems to be like a little sharp young man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So you kind of gauge the quality of mate that she had, or at least he had somewhat decent genes or some shit like that. If
right.
she had, somewhat decent child rearing abilities,
Right.
But I mean, I look at the dynamic of his exes and her friend, and how his ex was more attractive than the friend. I'm like, something that's very similar to her and Bebe. Like, and I'm just assuming that Bebe's unattractive, but um, it's very similar. The dynamic is like, maybe when they go out, it's the exact same thing. Just saying.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
if we're to kind of, I mean, this stuff is kind of modeled out of like kind of real life experiences that go on in Black culture, right? So I don't think that type of stuff is a bit. I don't think it's a stretch. I really
Mhm.
don't, and I really do think that a lot of that stuff really did play on a lot of underlying themes that are very real in in the Black community. So because you have to really think like, okay, where do they get this stuff from? They get it from what it is that actually goes on. I've seen, like I said, I've seen the type of chick who would be like Bebe's homegirl, but she could just get classier and clean it up a little bit better, right? So
Right.
she could pass herself off as not being hood, even though she is just as hood as Bebe. Bebe just can't turn the shit off,
Hmm.
right? This other chick, she can turn it off and on to a degree.
Right. She's what do they call those? You're a nerd. Wait, are you a nerd?
Uh, I mean, I never like to call myself one. Other
Well,
people called me that, but I hate it when they did. But yeah,
you're familiar with X-Men, right?
yeah,
You're familiar with the Morlocks, right?
yeah.
So what do they call and the Morlocks are the ones that can't pass. But
The
what do they call
Morlocks,
the ones who can pass?
they were called the shit. What were they? The
Because the
E.
X-Men could pass except for Beast and Nightcrawler. But
Yeah. Oh shit. I'm
what
trying.
did they? The Morlocks had a name for the ones who could pass.
I watched X Men. That's what I mean. That, the nerd term may or may not fit depending on what we're talking about. So I'm
Yeah,
not like, I didn't geek out hardcore on X Men and stuff, but I did recall seeing the movie. I just don't remember what they were called.
yeah. But anyway, there's a lot of passers, like like mutants that could pass as humans. There's a lot of ratchets who could pass as regular chicks,
Exactly. Exactly.
and she might have been one of them. Now, the older I get, the more sophisticated I have become at scoping these chicks out, and I'm not entirely repulsed by hood chicks. So, that's not, they don't even have to do that. Now I am repulsed by certain behavior that's associated with hood
Right.
behavior, but, I'm not repulsed by a chick who's hood,
Well,
I mean,
isn't that what would kind of define a hood chick would be sort of like behaviors and character, like behavioral uh traits.
let's
Not
let's put it
not
like
not
this.
so much like phenotypically, right?
Well, okay. Well, if they're pastors, then they're not phenotypically hood, but um, I'm attracted to submissive woman, whether she's hood or not. And yes, a hood woman can be submissive.
Hmm.
However, the hood itself is very hostile towards submissive women, so they typically don't come out like that. But if you are a hood chick and you are submissive, then I don't really care.
I mean, see, okay, see, because see, that's a very good point because see, my wife was from the hood.
Hmm.
She's from the South Side of Chicago. She had a master's degree, from Loyola, but she's from the South Side of Chicago.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? She's
Right, right.
totally submissive. So yeah, in that sense, I can say from experience, it works for me.
Yeah, exactly. So, and a hood is not an auto disqualifier. So, you could be your hood self. You don't have to, you don't have to say ill shit. Like if I ask to kick it with you, don't suggest the bookstore or the library. I know you don't want to do that shit.
I know, yeah, and I don't want to do that, and I know you don't want to do that.
Well, they think I want to do that, and I actually do go to the bookstore from time to time, but it's not, you know, don't think that because I'm not what you're used. Okay, so you seen the movie Set It Off, right? I'm gonna do a review on that one. You seen
Okay,
the movie Set It Off, right?
years ago, yeah, I remember it though.
But you remember Blair Underwood's character.
Vaguely. I
So
remember the movie though. Yeah.
yeah, he was a big time banker, and Jada Pinkett was a chick from the hood. Wasn't really a big deal for him.
I mean, for guys, it typically isn't because there's see, like you said, okay, is she submissive? Is she feminine? Like, okay, those types of women can be found in the quote unquote hood, and I mean, we use that term hood, and it's full of, it's full of stereotypes, and it's full of just things that go right along with it. But when we say hood, we're really just referencing women from like a predominantly black area. Okay. Now that does
Yeah.
not necessarily have to reflect that all of them then somehow are just like, scrags or whatever they call them, right? Bottom of the barrel
Mhm.
type chicks and all that. Because that would insinuate that any area where there's black people existing is just that. It's just a bunch of people who are at the bottom of the barrel. I don't
Right.
inherently believe that I'm a person who's at the bottom of the barrel. So, I'm going to just assume that it's going to be a mixed bag in an area where there's a majority of black folks. And typically, when I've gone in the black areas, that's been the case. Not everybody's just one way or the other, you know. So yeah, a decent woman can be found in the hood. Absolutely,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah, I was just saying that to say I don't think that the hood should be like a auto disqualifier.
No, 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 no.
But I think that, and I'm from the hood, but I think that when a lot of women see me and um, listen to me talk, they change their seduction technique, and rightfully so.
Hmm.
A lot of things that they use to seduce certain people would not really work on me.
Yeah,
But
they call that a me and my the good homie Mike V. We were talking about this on a hangout some time back, and he referred to it as a term for that, and I didn't know what it was called, but he
called,
said that it's called an identity quake.
mm,
Like, so what happens is that, so you meet a woman, and then what ends up happening is that how you speak, your mannerisms, everything actually runs counter to what her preconceived notions of you were. And what they have to do is they have to actually change how they respond to you on the fly. And so what happens is they have to kind of pause and say, okay, let me reassess this person. And that's where, like when you say they have to change their seduction technique, that's what that is. They have to really kind of reconfigure in their mind, like, okay, wait, actually, let me take a step back, and they have to really kind of look at you from a different angle or a different perspective. It actually challenges their perceptive their perceptive qualities, like how they view people. So I experience it too all the time. I think it's funny when I do run into that. I kind of play with it.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah. I actually like to play with it a little bit, man. Because what happens is that if you instantly can recognize it, and you say, you know what, watch this. I'm gonna just throw some charm in this bitch. Then you got to. It's like they're like putty.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but when women kind of get when I kind of throw them for a loop, and then I say, you know, I'm gonna just fuck with their heads a little bit, and then I just start charming them a little bit. Then it's a game changer. Huh, there you go.
Huh.
But you know, that's kind of part of what comes along with being brothers like us, right? Like what I've done is I've just learned how to grow into who I am as a person and not externalize it, right? You know, like when we were talking earlier, we were saying like, yeah, man, you know, we experienced that weird shit back in the day, with having, like the hood chicks, quote unquote, be crushing on you hard, right? But you know, you kind of looking at them and why they do what they do, but no hard feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
At this stage, I ain't mad at them. You
right.
know?
No, I mean, I feel you. You know, when you get older, you know, it's the same thing. It's just that they try because they're not as much a part of the hood anymore, and there's some desire to, you know, not really be about that. So, you know, yeah,
Mhm.
that's when you get the change up.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I do find it fascinating because, you know, I mean, you could be yourself. Now, I mean, there's certain like etiquettes and things like that that I do find attractive, um, from non-hood girls. That hood girls just wasn't raised to they just weren't raised that way.
Hmm.
Like there was this one hood chick, and she was gorgeous, you know, body for days and everything like that, except the hood made her less attractive, you know, the darkened lips from
Black
you
and
know,
Miles and shit.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, just all the little shit, you know, the drooped eyes from the alcohol and shit like that, even though she's in her early 20s and shit.
Yeah. Bad liver.
But yeah, but then she just fucking spat like right in front of me. And it wasn't a regular spit neither. It
It was
was
like
a
a
fucking,
loogie.
yeah, she hocked it. I mean, it
Oh,
wasn't like a deep throat one, but there was like a little, you know. And I was like, what the hell? That shit turns me off. You ever see like a fine ass bitch take a piss um in the ground like she squats, and it's like, God damn, that shit is a fucking turn off.
well, I was gonna say I don't think a woman taking a piss should ever turn you on.
Nah, it wasn't. But I mean,
But
like,
like watching them kind of like in a like in that position,
it
yeah,
was
it's
quietly
not
pushing.
dainty. It's not dainty.
It is not. It is not. It's and so there's certain things that women who grow up upper middle class don't, under any circumstances, no matter how bad they gotta pee, will not do. Um, and there are certain things that women who didn't grow up like that with those rules of etiquette, no matter how attractive, you know, because you know diamonds do grow in the rough, but you know, no matter how attractive, once they hawk and spit, it's like what the fuck. And the
Okay.
cold part was when she did it, I said, "Ooh, damn, that's sexy," and she said I was being sarcastic as hell. She said, "Thank you." I was
Oh
like,
no,
"No,
no.
yeah." I was being sarcastic
Oh,
as fuck. I think she was just, I think that she thought, because I worked with her, I think that she thought that I was just calling her sexy randomly, you know, and she was, but I'm like, no, I'm talking about the
that
fact
was
that she
you
did.
spit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When I was in the Dominican, you know, Dominican women are attractive, and this was a particularly attractive one. And I was in the bathroom on the toilet. She knocked on the door, and I said, I'll be out in a minute. She just opened up the door, came inside, and pissed in the shower drain.
Excuse me?
Yeah, she pissed in the shower drain. She squatted and pissed in the shower drain.
Huh.
And you know, I was sitting there on the toilet. I couldn't like not watch. I was like, oh shit, this is happening.
Yeah.
This is happening. This, you know.
It's like
But
now you know I will be taking a shower in there at some point.
exactly.
Will you be getting in this toilet?
I was like, oh shit, you know, this is a thing. This is an actual thing.
Oh,
But yeah, that was in the hotel. When I went to her place, she had like a super student. Maybe that's what they call an efficiency. Maybe she had an efficiency, but she had like this super small place, and the bathroom didn't have no toilet, or I mean, the bathroom didn't have no door. The toilet didn't have no seat, and the shower didn't have no head. Like everything was just
oh,
absent. It wasn't a stove in there, no stove, no oven, like no TV, like all no no appliances, no refrigerator.
what were you in? Like a black
I was in the hood.
box?
I was in the hood of Santo Domingo. It was really just like a box.
Yeah, I was gonna say what you're describing to me is like a couple of like refrigerator boxes taped together.
Yeah, it was just like one wall. Yeah, other than that, it would be a complete box. It was just one wall there, and and there was no appliances. She had one appliance. So Pete, this is how they work. This is how they work there. You have one appliance, and your neighbors have one appliance, and they don't match. So you sell use of your appliance in exchange for use of their appliances. So she'll say something like, "You want some water?" And then she'll go to the neighbor's house
Mm-hmm.
and get some water, and they will come and use her washing machine. She didn't have a refrigerator, but she had a washing machine. Like
Mm.
they changed stoves. It was just all kind of bananas, you know, up in there. But and her neighbor just came in, took her clothes off, and showered right in front of me, and no door. I was like, oh shit.
Like, I mean, you hear brothers in the manosphere talking about like going to other places and stuff to fight. Is this the reason why? Because I had no idea. I had no idea that people just walk in. You're using the bathroom, and then they just walk right in, and then they go into the shower to use the bathroom, and it's just all normal.
Well, I think a lot of Metasfield brothers, you know, sensationalize um, a lot of these stories. But no, yeah, like you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I had American bitches steal my shower head. You know, like I've had horror stories from American chicks too. But I'm just saying there are problems that come with dealing with impoverished females that you don't get with wealthy females.
Well, and that's why sometimes I think a lot of that stuff is overblown. You know what I mean? I think a lot of it is very much over sensationalized in terms of like heading down to these other areas and stuff. I don't know. I sometimes and that's not to say that like I haven't even done my I've done I haven't done my own travels because I have
Mhm.
but I understand that like okay human nature is human nature like no matter where you go, and if you're also dealing with you know uh you know things like impoverishment and stuff, okay, that doesn't change no matter where you go.
Exactly.
Right. You know what I mean? So sometimes like, you hear it from a lot of dudes. I'm just like, yeah, you know what, sounds nice, but I don't really think it would fit my lifestyle. You know what I mean? Because it just seems like there's a lot going on. Like you just might have randomly have somebody walk in your house to piss in your shower.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Bit of a culture shock.
That is their fuckery. Um, I mean, you know, then that's something that you can train out of them. And unlike American girls, they'll listen. Um, but there's nothing I could have told that chick to get her to stop spitting on the ground. Nothing at all. You know?
Could have gave her a
However,
cough drop.
yeah, yeah. I mean, however, I could coach her into not pissing in a thing. You know, and you know, you got to tell them stuff because my partner's girl, you know, he was like, no, no, don't do that. Like it'll be like basic shit. Um, she took a pot of coffee and she was about to put it in the microwave.
The pot?
Yep.
Why didn't she just turn the coffee maker on so that the little platter thing would just warm the coffee up? Or take some coffee, pour it in a cup, and put the cup in the microwave.
She did not grow up in a world of microwaves.
Or take some coffee, pour it in a pot, put the pot on the stove, heat it up at low heat, almost to like a rolling boil, then pour it into the cup.
You're not feeling me. There's different levels of poverty. She did not have a microwave ever in her life.
Oh, okay.
So nothing against her. She just never used a
It's just
microwave.
never. She didn't know that you shouldn't put a coffee pot in a microwave.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
metal and shit like that, she didn't know.
Yeah.
You know. So if you got patience for stuff like that, you know, then
And I don't.
yeah, I have patience for stuff like that.
Really?
These are exceptionally beautiful women. You know, it's rare to find a exceptionally beautiful woman who's poor in the U.S. So, but
That's a bit of an oxymoron.
yeah, yeah, it is. Well, I mean, if she's attractive, then somebody would sponsor her way out of poverty. And if her mother was attractive, then somebody would have sponsored her way out of poverty. So, you know, is what it is. But yeah, so but there it's common, you know, and in many places it's common to find an attractive woman who's poor. And unfortunately, with that, and I don't think that it's just sensationalism. I think that a lot of these guys, what they don't stay very long. See, I work from home, and I could work anywhere that has Wi-Fi.
Right.
So I stay longer. And then when you stay longer, you get a more in-depth
Mm-hmm.
understanding of the people, and then you go to their houses and you see what they do, and you know you really get into them, and then that's when they start pissing in the shower.
Exactly. It's like it's not all roses.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's literally taking a piss in the shower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know, like if you visit these chicks for a week, you're just kicking it with these extremely beautiful women and shit like that. But you know, you start being with them for a while, and you know,
Yeah. Then the pissing in the shower happens, and you're just like, okay, that wasn't normal.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh shit, this
Yeah,
is
like that just happened.
and I'm stuck on the toilet, like you know, what the fuck. So, but my point is that it's not the hood that's the turn off. It's it's just that they lose the things that turn you on, because they were raised a certain way sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's the one where I will agree, man, because I have seen just like on site, man. I've seen some beautiful women, and Game Changer, I'm gonna have to shake out of here in just a
Okay.
second. But I've seen some beautiful women, man, and then like you said, they'll turn around and spit, and then you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yep,
It's like, okay, well, that's the end of that. Like all of the visual value that you
went
had,
out the window.
exactly, or just went out onto the ground, out your mouth and onto the ground. Like,
Yeah, or like you spoke it out of existence, right? By like you hear a chick open her mouth and get to talking, and the next thing you know, it's just like expletive, 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 bitch, expletive, expletive. And it's just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, we could never have any sort of just like chilled peace conversation. Like, it just will not happen. You're like, damn, you're cute too. Oh,
exactly. It's a shame when they're cute, you know, and it's amazing how much tacky shit can turn a cute woman into a not cute woman.
oh man. Like I said, dude, I gotta go. I need to get some sleep.
Yeah.
Because
Without,
I could stay
without,
on for the next fucking hour and a half talking about that shit. It is the
yeah,
most frustrating thing where you're just like, and I don't even want to say it, dude, just for fear of like, sounding misogynistic or all that type of shit, but you're just like, God damn, dude, what a waste.
what a waste of cute, right?
What a waste of fucking A. You would be hot under other circumstances. My God.
Exactly. there's certain things, you know, ladies, if you fit this description, I'm sorry. That piercing on the bridge of your nose, God, that's a waste of cute.
The bull ring, the little.
Yeah, the bull ring. Because and maybe because bulls do it, and you making yourself look bullish by doing it. God, that's a waste of sexy.
But it's that it's like I said, man. I'm not gonna nitpick, man. I'm gonna crash out because, like I said, I'll be on here for the next hour.
No, one last thing. Yeah, one last thing. Then go.
Yeah.
Any tattoos between the throat and the nipples? God, that's a waste of cute.
Okay, you know what, dude? See, look, the tattoo zones, right? My approved tattoo zones are okay. None on the arm, okay. None on the tits. Now, if you got some sexy shit that goes along like your rib cage, down your hip or some shit like that onto the thigh, like I've seen chicks that have like a Japanese cherry blossom that kind of runs down like the side of their body or some shit. Or if you're rocking like henna tats, like the henna tattoos or something, okay, that shit is totally fine. But like if you got like, yeah, like the shit that's crawling up your neck between the tits and on the forearms, dude, onto the hands, onto the knuckles, bro. It's like, okay, that's just not going to look good later in life.
Yes. All right, man. I'm about to close out.
Okay.
All right. Thank everybody for signing up to my new channel. This is Game Changer Live 00100, and it is game overtime. I appreciate you all.
Peace.
Peace.